I made a video game. It's called Reiterate. It's a 2D platformer, and at the time of writing, today is its 2nd birthday. It's also my 37th birthday, but we're going to breeze past that. Let's talk game design. So Reiterate came out, has positive reviews on Steam, sold a whopping 485 copies, had a slightly depressing 43 refunds, made nearly $2,000 and went quiet. Now, is that enough? Do we leave it there and move on? Well, yes, mostly. For example, I'm working hard now on Hangry Bear, a simple to understand 3D arcade thing, where you run around as a bear drop kicking dudes until they explode. You should head over to Steam, add it to your wishlist and then come back. Like I said in the intro, it's my birthday, so, go do something nice for me. Anyway, as it is a birthday, I thought it might be nice to do something meaningful for Reiterate. It represented more than just being a game release, it was in fact my first proper retail Steam game release, and until now, it's my only one of those. So it's always going to have a special place in the history of me. But what do I do with it? New levels? No, because the 69 levels that Reiterate has are meticulously well designed. They teach you the mechanics, give you the space to develop your understanding of them, and then test your abilities to make sure you're getting up in basic skill level before the overall challenge and difficulty increases. If I add new levels, it'll throw off that balance, so we're not doing that. I should also probably mention at this point why I've got such a high opinion of this one thing I've made, and it's really very simple. I haven't played it for 2 years. There's something that they tell book writers before they start the editing process, and it's to take your first draft, once it's finished, stick it in a drawer, and forget about it for 6 months. The idea is that before you move into that editing phase where you're looking for things you want to change about what you've done, you'll benefit from being distant from it, almost to the point that you've forgotten what you wrote. If you go straight into editing, you're too close to what you've just done. You're still in the phase where what you've put down on paper, basically, all sounds good to you. But it really might not be, and you won't notice if you do it now, because the writer you are now isn't the one you're going to be in 6 months' time. Similarly, the game developer I am now isn't the one that I was 2 years ago. I might not have released anything else, but I've been experimenting, prototyping, playing, and growing with dozens of unreleased little projects that have all gradually, subconsciously improved my abilities as a game developer, which means there are things I value and know how to do better now that I hadn't got a clue about before. And what that means is when I come back to Reiterate like this, I'm almost a different person, with different tastes and expectations. I've also forgotten most of what I did back then, but that might just be because I'm an old man. This means what's really most impressive is how much the Reiterate I released back then is genuinely enjoyable and satisfying to me now. The level design, the structure, the focus, the way the game feels, the mechanics, the plot, all of that is done in a way that if I bought this game today and it was made by someone else, I'd have an amazing time with it, and it's really satisfying to be able to say, yes, I made that. But let's not get too bogged down in how brilliant and amazing and shiny golden god I am, because there's also things that do in fact need changing, and it's mostly to do with this. This is the Steam Deck. I bought one near their release, and honestly I haven't really put it down since. It's comfortable, easy, convenient, and a very well-rounded way of playing the 50 bajillion games in my Steam backlog, and Reiterate doesn't work. Or it does, but not well enough. The Steam Deck has a 16:10 aspect ratio, and Reiterate is hard locked at 16:9. There's also a really hacky, janky way of doing a fake retro CRT TV scanline filter that I don't like, but couldn't really do any better back then, and the engine that the game is made in, Construct 3, has had some quite major performance increases and feature changes in the last 2 years. In summary, I should update Reiterate, and ladies and gentlemen, I have. It's called the Birthday Edition, and what it does now is run full screen, full speed on the Steam Deck, with a proper scanline and a kind of gritty, dirty noise filter effect that I like, just to give it this last little coat of polish as it settles into my personal history. I haven't changed anything meaningful, content-wise, and considering the channel's called Let's Talk Game Design, I haven't actually changed the game design. This sounds really arrogant, but the truth is, I got that right first time. If anything, I've just reconfirmed that to myself now. It's almost like, for my birthday, I've given myself the gift of murdering my imposter syndrome. How thoughtful of me. The one thing that I have added is a few achievements, just because I wanted to figure out how those worked. And there's also one other major decision I've made for Reiterate going forward. I've permanently lowered the price. I'm English, sorry to the rest of the world, so you're getting this in GBP, but the price has permanently come down by half now. You might think that this is ridiculous given that I've just put more work into it, so surely it's worth more now, but please let me explain. Reiterate, like I said, is a good game. It's an excellent example of everything I'm trying to teach you through this channel, and it represents my design philosophies in a pretty comprehensive little package. I set out to make Reiterate because I wanted to get on YouTube and tell all of you what I believe good game design is. But I was sat here thinking, well, what reason do you have to listen to me? Who the hell am I? Anyone can come out here and spout nonsense for an hour about what you should do or what makes good games. But if they're a literal nobody from nowhere, why should you ever take on board what they're saying? No. I felt like I had to prove to you that the design choices and philosophies that I believe are good were, in fact, good. And so Reiterate was born. Now, the channel's been around for a while, and this video will be going at the end of the Devlog playlist for Reiterate that many of you have probably followed. So if that's you, if you've just binge-watched nearly 20 videos about the game going from nothing to one of the finest things I've ever created, then the product at the end should probably be more accessible to you. That is, after all, what it's for. So the price has gone down forever, and I've made sure it runs full speed on something as low spec as the Steam Deck. That means that you, my valued viewer and audience member, can go pick it up, run it, play it, and see if everything I've spent multiple years saying to you actually makes sense. I hope it does, but if not, I understand. There's other people out there with different opinions to me. Ultimately, what I think you should do is take in a lot of information, opinions, and game design philosophies, and see what works for you. Remember, game design is an art, not a science. There is no single right way of doing things. There is no one right answer. There's a fair few wrong ones, but hopefully we can avoid those. Anyway, Reiterate is now officially actually properly done. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you'll play it, and I hope you'll learn something. And I also hope you'll wishlist Hangry Bear on Steam, and then I hope you'll like this video if you liked this video, and I hope you'll subscribe for more videos like this one, and I hope I will see you the next time I'm thinking, hey, let's talk game design.